started with the saying of our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You know, it's really old. It's original equipment. The one in the truck does.
All right, this morning I've invited Pastor Daniel Stevens from Burlington Faith Church of Christ to open us in a word of prayer.
All right, please bow your heads with me. Almighty God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, we earnestly come here this morning in expectation and in faith, God, and acknowledging that you govern in the affairs of men. And so, in that sense, I just pray that your Spirit would be with each one of these, our civil magistrates here today, God, that you would give them wisdom and the sight, the knowledge, and the clarity that they need to honor you in everything that they do and to lead us well. God, thank you for your goodness and for your Son, Jesus Christ. In his name we pray. Amen. Thanks.
All right, we good? Okay. All right, so want to just allow the record to show that all council members are here, with the exception of Ethan Brown. We do have the consent agenda presented to us. Beth, I did have one change that I think needs to be made to the March 16th minutes. You reference the January rather than February. Yeah, sorry, I should have had this pulled up, but yeah.
Okay, I see where it is.
So that just needs updated. Otherwise, I didn't see any concerns or issues with the March 16th or the March 20th meeting notes. Did anybody else have a question or concern about those? Okay. Does anybody have anything that they want to pull from the transfers that are listed in the consent agenda? And I will specify, I think Beth might have told a few of you, the custodian request for $23.99 at the bottom is a duplicate, so you can scratch that out because it's listed up above as well. So that's just an error.
Okay.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented with the amendment on the minutes.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion on the floor by Josh Flew, seconded by Doc Stoffer, to approve the consent agenda, understanding the amendment to the March 16th minutes. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries.
Who's the second on?
Doc Stoffer. All right, so that'll bring us to our financial reports for this month. And I just want to remind the council, we are through March, a quarter of the way through the year, so approximate year-to-date budget utilization should be at about 25%. I'll quickly go through some of the county balances. Our county general balance is at $5.3 million. Rainy Day at $4.3 million. Riverboat at $327,000. And I looked up Lit Edit this month as well at $1.2 million. I did want to say that I had opportunity to give a brief readout at last week's State of the County, City and Towns luncheon for the Chamber of Commerce, and had opportunity to speak through some of these numbers and give a readout on that. And I was really proud to be able to list and suggest to leaders within the county our healthy financial standing. And that's based on the efforts and work of this body. So I just wanted to commend you guys and the work that you're doing and the time and effort that you're putting in. It was my privilege to be able to do that last week. Specific to my assigned departments, Carroll Manor is currently sitting at 27.2% year-to-date utilization. I did call out some concerns last month. This month, that's stabilized a little bit, so I wanted to report that. 27 is a little bit high, but not near the concern that I had last month. The coroner sits at 15.2% year-to-date utilization. Emergency management at 23.2% year-to-date. No concerns for local road and street. No concerns on Hume Bridge. And then MVH is at 21% year-to-date utilization. So no real concerns from my departments this month. Scott, you want to
Sure.
follow?
And I don't have any concerns with my departments either. They do sit a little bit higher than the 25%. The treasurer at 28, the transfer station at 21, the assessor at 30, and the recorder at 31. But I don't have any concerns with those slightly higher than average utilization numbers.
I don't have any concerns with mine. The veterans are at 27%. The CASA, I've got to get to the joint courts, the probation, figure out more than what I know about it now. The director is at 38%, I believe, the salary, but I don't know if part of this is gonna be funded by the state or all. I will find out by the next meeting.
Is that CASA?
Yes, ma'am.
She's paid out of CASA and out of 24s. So that's why we do one and then we do the other.
That's what I kinda figured, but I gotta go down there and, so I understand a little better what's going on. Okay, then, surveyors at 26%. Drainage is 13%. Tobacco cessation, I'm sure that's a grant, and there hasn't been any money spent out of that. The local health is at 13%, and so we're going right. I've got one other assignment that is a grant, and they have $17 carryover from last year, no activity. And that's where I am, thank you.
Clerk is 27, auditor's 27, soil water 26, area plan 25 after the insurance.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm done.
Commissioners, 41.45, I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at that, but that's mainly being driven by the expenditure of all of the health funds out of the general fund into its own fund. So that will continue to come down as the year goes by. The council, our budget's 21, the prosecutor's at 20%, but his fuel and maintenance is about 40. So, I have not had a chance to ask Nick if that's being driven by fuel or maintenance, which side of that token, but, it's possible that that might become an issue, but as of right now, he would have money to transfer to make it work. So we'll continue to maintain, my pulse on that. And then EMS is at 24.39%. However, the, again, maintenance, fuel and maintenance, I forget what the line's called, has been expended 25% of the way through the year. And today we've just passed a transfer. So I think this is gonna be an ongoing issue, that we need to probably, well, I hope that it's not an ongoing issue, and I don't know that we need to get deep in the weeds on it, I just wanna make everybody aware on it. Hopefully this is an anomaly, but it's definitely, not looking great this year. The trial department has only expended about $12,000 to date. The auditors, they're told me today that, she had been contacted by the prosecutors, or excuse me, by the defense team, and we probably expect to start seeing bills in that.
Just to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would say that those expenditures will be somewhat on the horizon here, so that some of that appropriated dollars will start to flow out. Seems like. So one other thing on EMS, I think that we're going to have to address in this next budget cycle is ambulances. We have maintained pretty much a steady, since for the last probably 6 to 8 years, what we appropriated on an annual basis for ambulances out of the human cap department. And this is not 8 years, 6 years ago. I mean, the numbers are at a critical point now. They're gonna get worse. So I think that we will have to look at human cap in this next budget cycle and increase what we're putting back for ambulances.
So you're saying our appropriation isn't pacing with inflation and costs?
Yeah, we have not, I don't think we've ever increased it since I've been here.
It's already been discussed and, Doug and I fell in over in there for budget time.
Yeah, so I'm just putting this out there. How he has been doing it for the last, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, is he's buying the ambulance out of human cap and then lettering it, doing all the other things out of his, regular general fund budget. So, I think that it would be prudent for us to kind of recenter that so that we're getting a much clearer idea of what the actual cost of ambulances are and then the actual cost of, maintaining them. Right now, it's all kind of getting jumbled together and it's not healthy, I don't think. I mean, it's not that's not healthy, it's just not the best way for us to maintain accounting. That's all I have, thank you.
I have one question, and maybe Doc, you might be able to answer this. I've heard opioid settlement. Is that something that's coming to Carroll County, or I thought it went to all counties?
We have received our money, and matter of fact, Shane Evans was asking me about it yesterday, Tuesday,
Okay,
so we have received some money.
okay. Is that something that this body will divvy out, or does it go directly to community corrections, the sheriff's department, et cetera?
I think that Shane was wanting to be involved in that process too.
Okay.
Where did the money get put up?
Really fun. Sorry, I'm not trying to say. Oh, yeah. Well, we had.
Everybody had to, like,
We had to create one.
because all the counts got it.
Yeah, like I said, I'd heard about it. I don't know that we'd ever discussed it. I'm
Pretty sure it's the same as our that's appropriate. I have to do research.
It's been in there all year. We got it in December, I think it was 80-some thousand, and then it's restricted, and it's down on that page. There's a financial report. It's, going to opioid rebate, or abatement, and unrestricted, or there's two of them.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion on financial reports? Doc?
If I could, I'd be able to read my writing and
Okay.
file errors.
Okay,
That's grant money, that's $14 or something, it's about. Well, you can have to read on that.
yeah, that's fair, thank you. All right, moving on to the auditor's report.
I've given you all your new salary ordinance. It's version 4/2023, and highlighted are, I think I kept superintendent. We changed that to engineer to superintendent. And, we put the whole amount in there that he was could be paid, that when I did the transfer, I only did what was in that fund. So it's 51 something over to the superintendent and the engineer. I did not put it on the transfers here, because it was just an automatic thing. And then back here on the back page, where it says highway engineer salary will be paid 1/2 from the Cambridge and the highway, I put deleted 3/16/2020.
So we've already voted on all these amendments, you're just presenting this with this.
Yes.
So when this shows is deleted, are you actually gonna physically delete
I'm
it?
just gonna leave it on there. I don't know, right
It's
now it's
fine.
on there.
So, we need a motion just to modify the rules for this procedure.
That's what you want.
I move that we acknowledge receipt of the amended salary ordinance V4 dated 4/20/23.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Josh Clue, seconded by Paul Ryder, that we acknowledge the 2023 salary ordinance amended version 4 dated 4/20/23. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. You need a signed copy.
I'd like to have one, this one's fine.
I'll start.
Then, next thing. Is the Carroll Manor transfer information. Last month, I, tried to talk to Jamie about what we were gonna do for the payroll. And, what I did do is she had to pay some claims out of the donation fund. And then I wrote a check from the donation fund, $4,500, to put it in her Carroll Manor fund, so she could meet payroll. And so, I gave her all the information on that. But it probably might happen in this month, I don't know. I haven't really looked at it, I've been gone a couple of days. So the 28th is another payroll, we have claims in there. As of right now, today, because I redid it, they have, $7,889 in their fund.
In the donation fund?
No, that's Carroll Manor fund.
Oh, okay.
And that does include the, receipt that she brought in a couple of days ago. And then in her donation fund, she has 17,300, so that's how I'm working on it. If we have to do it again, we will. The other thing is, I know Josh had made a motion for 20,000 out of county general. I did not advertise that, because I really don't, I talked to, just happened to have a state board of account, ex-state board of accounts in Indiana, and he said he thought it probably should go out of rainy day or riverboat. I talked with Josh about that, but I'm not sure. But if so, where do I put that if we do the additional? I mean, I can advertise it under county general. I mean, I need to have it ready, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Agreed.
What was his reasoning for those two accounts?
He said he didn't think it should come out of county general, is all he said. Anyway,
Roughly how much money do we speak?
well, the motion was for 20,000. I mean, I can do it from there, and I can put a line in there. I was thinking the commissioner's budget, because that's where the, capital fund was, so I don't know. But I just need to know where, and just think about it for the next meeting, where I'm gonna put it.
Well, the funds sit in county general, right? They're 300-ish.
It's not very nice.
Okay, well, whatever that amount is.
Some nominal amount.
Yes, it used to be.
Okay, but it sits in county general, so I would,
Did we come to the determination that that did not have to be used just for maintenance then?
I've not heard that, but that's something we need to
Isn't that up to
decide.
us, though? I mean, you know, we can, that's what the council does, when we decide how to spend the money.
Well, the ordinance is no longer, so I would think you wanna make an ordinance on what that can
There's
be
no
spent.
restrictions to answer your question.
Yeah, that's true.
But you might wanna do an ordinance of what they can be spent on.
To Scott's point, that those funds sit in county general, but to satisfy, to satisfy the recommendation from a former state board of accounts, representative, would it make sense to do that out of rainy day and then pay back rainy day out of county general?
I thought about that too, but that limits how much you could transfer across the.
I think what he's thinking is saving from writing a check and putting it in county, account manner. I mean, actually, I'm not sure that's
Did
the
he
right
know
way to
that
do
there
it.
was monies, does he, I know it's not 300,000, but does he know that that money is in county general, the 200, 300,000? He
I'm
doesn't,
not sure he knows that.
because I think we need to use up that money, so that, I mean, I think we need to use everything that was originally supposed to be allocated to
Well,
Carroll.
whatever solution we come up with has to be architected in such a way that it's very clear how that money is spent over time. So over the next however many years,
Yeah.
what we have to first agree on is that this is the money that's
The
there,
amount.
right? And then make it to where you can easily account for it over the next however long it's in use to
So,
say, this
How do
is,
we find out the amount?
well, I think.
Yeah, I was working on it, but then I got slammed in the last meeting and I just, I put it away. I mean, she said she knew what was the amount, so.
and I think the
But what
fewer,
should be there.
So,
How did you come up with the amount? Can you go up to the front, please? How do you think that you know what the amount is?
With me because I didn't think that I needed those, but just from following old, claims that were pulled out of that, there were files at Carroll
Pulled out of
Manor.
what?
Pulled from the money where there were out of the, when it was the, capital improvement fund, or when it was the maintenance fund.
I need numbers, so amount.
I didn't think we were talking about that
She doesn't.
today, so I didn't bring that.
No, it's,
But you think you have a starting amount?
Yeah, I mean, but that's
Has
not
she
counting
given
the
that to you?
300,000 that was,
Why have you not given that to that?
the claims were all submitted. I assume that the auditor's office has them because that's the only money that was spent from it was from claims that were filed, and
but
I mean, we
need
get
to-
the,
Let's
We
move on.
need, or we need to agree on what it is.
Oh, right,
And it's not
yeah.
just what the
I'm-
auditor says,
Right.
or you say, we need to have.
that's
this
what I
is
was
your
waiting on
evidence.
to see what number you had, and then we could
Like,
put our
we did
papers
that
together
last time, Jamie, and
with the money for
friend that I
that.
had here just went off, so. And I haven't talked to you really since then, so.
so
We
I
need a
think,
number.
I think it's appropriate, Tracy,
Okay.
that we, come to a decision about what that remaining balance is. And we agree on that between the superintendent, the auditor, and this body, that we all agree on that. And then from there, Josh, to your point, I agree, we need to have a very defined process for how we account for that money going forward, so that this ambiguity doesn't exist anymore.
and I think the fewer accounts we go in and out of will make it cleaner,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, I agree. So,
And we wanna keep the state board of accounts happy.
Well, he was just an advisor that day, it wasn't like he was gonna.
He was retired, I understand, but
So
he
do we
knows
think
how
we
they
can have a
think.
number, a substantial number by next month possibly then? So we can get the problem solved and rolling, since we're on a month-to-month basis on planning your payroll and growth? So she'll know where.
that's a good goal, that's a good goal, let's work towards that. I think that's something that we should effort towards, so,
You need to put in your resolution what you are going to be paying for, because the reason I transferred it to her fund 4,900 is payroll is very delicate. And if you start paying it from all this place, and this place, it's hard on W-9s and W-2s and everything, so.
So we should be able to decide that when we have a correct amount and where we're going
I
to.
think, can you give me some ideas why you want in a resolution?
Yeah, I think you're building a policy for yourself, so that you can say, let's grab that resolution out, back in 2023, we did it, and it'll be right there in front, it's just a policy document for your guidance in the future, and you just
I think we
pass
should
it as
just
any other.
modify that in the resolution,
Yeah.
the amount, so that there is a
Purpose,
cornerstone.
process, leaving flexibility, obviously, there's gotta be some flexibility, but
But
we
at
can
least
bear
if we
around.
modify that number 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we don't have the same problem we have
Yeah.
looking back. And
Question, that, so none of the funds you're talking about were related to the, furnace or the wiring, repair that was made, I take it, those bills?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, thank you.
I don't believe
Is that
No,
around
they
this?
were, you're voting on the furnace today.
The problem is that we're going to, I mean, if things stay as they are right now and they don't get any more residents, I mean, this is going to be ongoing, and I think we know every month, so where you're going to be pulling for, if something breaks, you're gonna pull from for a repair. If the payroll is short, you're gonna have to pull for a payroll.
And
If they run
it's
out of
what
food,
comes-
you're gonna have to pull for food, so it's hard to say, I mean, what it's gonna be spent on, because they're so well funded.
Well, the food has already been told to get come out of county, or the donation.
We've been receiving donations, the elementary school is doing a food and supply drive for us. The American Legion donated $400 worth of food and cleaning supplies out there. We've been receiving a lot of donations, we're having an open house on Saturday, from 1 to 3. We've had 2 freezers donated to us, new from churches and other people, so that saved us money there.
And I'll say this again, unless you get more residents.
Right.
You're not going to
And
support.
I got 2
You have to
residents
get
and lost 2,
You
and I
have to
live in
get
Carroll County.
residents.
Yeah.
That should be the main
Which is
priority
part of the
right
open
now.
house and getting the word out that we are open, because we've had so many people say, well, we heard you were closed, or we heard you were closing. So, and that's gonna take time to get that word out that we are not closing and that we are there.
Good job, appreciate your work. I know you've worked tirelessly, a lot of hours, I've heard that.
And I wanted to thank Tim for coming to the North Landmarks, meeting with us, and thank Tracy for coming to our Faithful Friends Carroll Manor meeting.
Yeah, I think
Thank you, Jamie.
some of the press that they've received out there has been positive, but a lot of it's been negative, and you're continually fighting that bad press from, naysayers out here, oh my gosh, they're gonna close, and, that's a hurdle
Yeah.
we've all gotta get over.
And they started this week with Mark Smith, the historian, doing a series of articles about Carroll Manor and the history of it, and then we've been interviewing residents so that, we could put that face to Carroll Manor and see what the residents like and love about Carroll Manor and where they're from and being in the community and that kind of stuff, so hopefully that'll help as well.
It was a nice spacious had in the common
Yes.
for the open house,
Yeah,
and a good position.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Jamie, I have one question for you. In the last meeting, we discussed additional financial reporting,
Yes.
and do you have that yet?
I don't have it typed, I've been without, as of yesterday, I finally got high-speed internet, that was one thing that I was having issues with, was Frontier being down all the time. So as of yesterday, I got it, so I will type that up. I wrote stuff down, I wrote down the money since February 15th, that I've received in, because there were people that were behind on rent, and I have gotten everyone caught up now, to current month of April. So like in March, I did bring in $27,000, which was
more, there was, I think, 3 people that were behind on partial payments. And because of the food donations, I've spent less on food, and just trying to cut corners where I can. The Faithful Friends of Carroll Manor is gonna pay my high-speed internet bill through TWM and RNC monthly. And the Delphi Preservation Society has agreed to be a grant recipient if they need to on behalf of us. We're having a free energy audit done. Checked out LED lighting and finding ways to cut down on the utility bills. So without something printed, that was, I guess, my quick list of some of the things that I'm trying to do to save money, and
Is 27,000,
that's
Pretty
more
good.
than, well, I mean, for the residents that we have now, it's only about 21, right under 22,000. So there was almost $5,000 in that grant that I was able to collect, so to make sure everyone's current. I had
What's
a
your
man call
goal?
from Monticello. I would like to have at least 25 residents, and we only have 14. I had a man from Monticello call his landlord selling his house. He Googled senior living and Carroll Manor came up, which the Chamber of Commerce helps. We're now a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So they've gotten that out there too, and he said it came up, he came and toured the place, thought it looked great. And he can't wait to come, so he's got the application and working with other county homes to get the word out.
14,
Yeah, I gained 2, but then lost 2 to the nursing home, so.
So,
And almost
you
all
said
of
you
them are
had,
private
so,
pay.
did you say 27,000? And I have to ask these questions because we don't have data to look at, so I'm just trying to get my head around that. You had 27,000 is what you collected?
That's what I collected in March
In the entire month?
for the month, yeah.
And you said 5,000 of that was late?
Was probably back, yeah. it was
So
close to
you,
that.
your current census
Would
provides
bring it to-
approximately $22,000 of revenue?
Yeah, about 21
Okay, so what is the cost per person to live there?
So we have 10 private pay people right now, which is $1,916.25 a month is what they pay. We have 2 that are negotiated rate, so the negotiated rate is for anyone that makes between $1,200 and $1,999 from their social security month, they get a negotiated rate. And then we have 2 ARCH or RCAP residents, those that make less than $1,200, and we get, the state pays for the RCAP people the difference, and they have a self-pay portion. We have to leave them with $52 a month for personal allowances, that's what the guidelines are. So then we get the rest in rent, whatever their social security disability payments are every month. So that's how those other people are.
So what do they pay?
So we have one that pays,
Well, what is the total you receive, not what do they pay? From those
from those
different buckets? Well, I mean, the one you're saying is
21,909, I think it was, yeah. Or, I'm sorry, 23, including what the state pays in the difference, no, 23,000
That's
to,
not what I'm asking. So for a person that earns less than $1,200 a month in social security,
right,
what is the total you collect per month for that
okay.
person?
Everybody's different, so the lowest paying person, with what he pays and with the difference that the state pays is $1,500. That's the lowest person. The other person, they pay $1,700, and then the negotiated rate people, we have somebody that pays $1,360, and the other person pays $1,220.
This is part of the problem. Inflation has went up and
Yeah.
up and up over the past 10 years, and none of your rates have compensated for inflation.
Right, and I agree. I mean, when I came in,
Does the
that was
state
the first
tell
thing I
you what
thought.
they're going to pay?
Yeah, I mean, we have to leave them with that $52, the people that are not private pay. And so, I mean, we take everything else. I mean, they have to be able to pay if they have life insurance, we have to let them pay that, and they pay their medicine co-pays. and we take everything else other than that $52.
But then the state
Only
takes-
for the RCAP people, so those people that make less than $1,200 a month, those are the only ones that the state will pay a portion of the difference in the rent. Up to, I think it's $47.50 a day is what the state will pay. The negotiated rate, the state does not pay the difference.
Because I see this as a major reason, because 10 years ago, you could go to the nursing home for $3,000, now it's $8,000 a month.
And I do think that our rates need raised. They haven't been raised in a very long time, but as soon as I came in, I didn't wanna immediately, the first thing I do is ask for rate increase, because that's not gonna make one.
I mean, you're the department head.
Right,
Just
and I have
telling
to-
you, like, you're running a business unit or a department.
Right.
Like, your department is out of money.
Right.
So you have to budget like you are trying to get it better every month.
Right.
And so those are proactive steps that I think you have to have more.
I didn't order food for 2 months. I did the inventory of food that they had there.
And I see why you're concerned about, you don't wanna raise rents.
I did it in February.
But even if they're renting out in the community in a home,
Right.
I mean, everyone has raised rent. I mean, rent has went from $900 to $1,200 a month, from $600 to $900 a month. You have to do something.
Yeah, I know.
What's your cost to operate right now, do you think? You brought in 27,000, what would you guess estimate your cost to operate? At the current level of staff? Or if you don't know that, just bring it next month.
Yeah,
Just bring it
because
next
the
month.
staff has fluctuated.
My
Yeah.
payroll is at 10,500 every 2 weeks.
Except that last,
So that's
I think it was
20
9,000 or.
Well, your
22,000
part is,
Expenditures
but
this
that
last
doesn't mean
month
that
were
the taxes
$37,000.
per what?
Our expenditures in March were $37,000.
I'd like to get input from Dr. Meyer.
You want me to come up there?
Yes, please.
So, if you're gonna do a deep dive, which it sounds like where you're at, you probably need some statistics. Okay? First off, so you're taking care of the residents there. And you all are asking for a lot of figures from how long you had the job?
2 months.
Okay, so it appears to me that there needs to be somebody to help bring all this together to help you understand where you're at from the figures, you know, because if she's doing all the work on the floor, she obviously doesn't have time to do both administrative stuff that you're wanting, plus take care of the residents in the home. I mean, it's basically a part-time person that needs to help her figure that out, to help you understand where you're at. The other thing is that you are right, it does need to be increased. It will help, but it won't solve it. One of the things, and also too, is you have expenditures such as furnaces, electrical, other things that are gonna be happening because you've got a building that's over 100 years old. So you gotta stop some of the bleeding, but you've also gotta figure out how you're gonna get back to where you were before. So right now, at the commissioner's level, in order to get the monies approved to get some of the grant monies that are available, since it's owned by them, they have to give permission to get that, okay, to have someone come in there and assess what's going on. We have a wet basement, there's a wet wall in the bottom. I don't know if there's something going on there or not, but that's a structural thing that needs to be looked at. So, but the other thing it is, it's a historical building, so locally, we can't have people that don't have experience with historical buildings give the appraisals on it, because it's just not accepted by the people that would do the fixation on the building. So, it's kinda like, we need to kinda work in about 5 different angles in order to get this resolved. One of it is obviously we have to make sure that what we have is a building that we can put people in. And the only way that's gonna happen is if you assess where you're at, and that's could be assessed by the grants, because there's a $50,000 grant for structure that's out there just waiting for us to take, okay? how does that figure in? Well, the windows that we have are losing electricity, or losing heat, which causes our electric bill, what is it, 2,000?
Well, the electric and gas both are about $1,200 a month, so that's $2,400.
So I mean, that's an added expenditure already, what you're doing.
1,200 each.
So you've got to figure out how you're not gonna pay more bills to make it work. So that's something that the grant would be able to fix the exterior of the windows in order to keep the electricity in. It also, one of the things that I'm batting around in my head is we probably have people out there in the community that get subsidies for their energy. Okay, I don't know if these people that live there qualify for that or not. That's an REMC question. But I mean, we need to have some ways to explore all these angles to figure this out so that we can come up with, but I think we have to start with the rate limiting step, and that is, we need to get approval to have the building assessed as to able to apply for this first grant, such that we can have other grants because we've started the process. And so I posed that to the commissioners. And they had a vote on it this week. I don't know where that's at, but I hope that we get something in writing that we can move on that, because then once we do that, then it frees up a whole bunch of things. I do know that assisted living, or not, well, it is assisted living, in Kokomo is $3,700 a month on an average, okay? I know statewide it's $4,700, okay? So we're not an assisted living, we're residential, so we can't qualify for that, but there are a lot of amenities that they do at the manor, such as the laundry, the food, okay? So if we put it in a positive light, okay, so that our people can see it as to what it really is, then what happens is that you see, we now have food on shelves that now we have a month's supply. Just because we've gotten out there, we've got publicity to bring people in to understand there's a need. I think you got a gold mine. I think if you look at it from a perspective of, you have people in the community that care, people in the community want to help, all they need to know is understand how to help. I think it could work. But I think it's just a matter of is to get you the figures you want, it's gonna take somebody deep dive to give you that. It really is. And it's gonna take somebody that, you know, you're in it for 2 months, Mark was in it for how many years? I mean, you've gotta have that knowledge to know what to do. And so whatever it takes to get that done, I think that would help you and help her, and help everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've got a path forward on Carroll Manor for next month. So, thank you, Jamie and Dr. Meyer. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say I faxed out the financial reports. I did send them out a little later than normal. I've been in and out of the office. Were there any questions? I think I answered a couple of them already. Okay.
So I just want to state again for the record, and just impress upon you, like, expenditures for March were $27,000. For real revenue is $22,000. That's a $15,000 deficit every month. There's only $7,000 in checking, or in her balance, and then $17,000 in her donation fund. So by the end of next month, if those numbers hold, she is completely out of money, because we're burning $15,000 a month. So, like the sense of, I would just express to you that you absolutely have to have a sense of urgency in raising the revenue figure, because it's the only one that you can control other than the occupancy. And so, you know, like, I know you don't want to, because, you know, you're trying to, like, be nice and,
Well, I
you
didn't
know,
want to